everyone. So to begin, I guess I will talk about my particular demographic and then talk about the different reading strategies I find are the most effective. So my class is a group of low beginners, or not, I'm sorry, not low beginner, low intermediate students, and are a mix of students from Saudi Arabia, the United Emirates, Algeria, Korea, and China. Um, for this particular class, they're all males, mostly in their 20s. The student from Algeria is 18, and I have one man who's a parent, and he's possibly in his mid-30s, I'm not quite sure. Um, but all are fluent in their native language for reading and writing, in addition to speaking and listening. So everybody has kind of a native language base to work with. So the three ideas that I chose were mapping, summarizing, and reading journals. So for mapping, I guess you can map pretty much whatever you feel is the most important aspects of the story. So you could map main ideas, chronology, characters, especially for reading a novel. I think this helps keep track of the various story elements, be it characters or plot points or anything. Even if it's not necessarily a work of fiction, names are some of the harder things to remember from another language, at least I think so. So I think writing them down in relation to what's going on, or their personality traits, or their motives, can be really helpful in keeping track, and it's good reinforcement. Identifying the key points, either the main idea of each paragraph or plot points, helps students keep track of what's happening, and those webs and charts can be a really nice visual, especially if people are more visually oriented. The next one is summarizing the main idea through comprehension questions and by connecting them to their lives. So the right variety of comprehension questions is positive, even though I don't particularly care for true-false questions. I like comprehension questions because they help students scan for information, which will be really useful if they go to the university. And in addition, good comprehension questions making personal connections can help students relate ideas from the book to their own life, which reinforces the message or ties words with ideas and feelings for the student to further understand the text. And in addition, they can have good discussions about this, especially if they can point to the text and go, look, it says this. This particular thing that they said relates to this experience that I had, and that helps them make bigger connections and deeper their understanding. And the last one I think that is really useful for students at this level are reading journals, where they maybe write some responses. I would choose a reading for maybe a short novel or some sort of more longer text for students to read, and then have them read a certain amount each week and then respond to it. So how did they feel, or what did they make of it? Did they make any connections? Are they interested in what's happening? Do they relate to the characters? Things like that. So you can kind of see how well they are understanding the content by what connections that they make. And I think if you were to do this in addition to other classroom reading activities, there's less pressure for them to make sure they analyze it perfectly, and instead draw bigger comparisons, and they can focus more on the actual process of reading instead of going okay, I have a test on this, okay, I need to make sure I remember these vocab words, okay, I have to make sure that I remember this. So I think it's more of a a wholesome way to approach reading, so they can see it can be important for school and taking notes and things like that, but it can also be a little less pressure. And I guess the other thing is you could even have them choose their own readings each week and then respond to it, so you can just make sure that they're reading more, which I think is beneficial in of itself. So yeah, I think that's everything, and thank you for listening.